The summer of 2018 has been a remarkable one across Europe, with highest temperature and lowest rainfall records being broken in many areas. Exceptional heat has stretched across every corner of the continent, with much of northern Europe experiencing less than 20% of normal May-July rainfall. Only the Mediterranean and Balkans have seen wetter than normal weather. In the cases of Greece, Romania and western Turkey, more than twice the normal rainfall. In the latest twist, the extreme heat across the Iberian Peninsula, which resulted in the highest temperature ever recorded in Lisbon and a host of highest minima records, is finally receding. Unfortunately, it leaves behind a trail of wildfires that authorities are still struggling to control. Yet the heat is merely transferring eastwards and northwards, as a plume of exceptionally warm air becomes established from eastern France to western Russia, extending into northern parts of Scandinavia.
At least a dozen people, including migrant laborers returning home after spending the day working in the fields, have been killed in a crash between a van and a lorry in southern Italy. The accident took place on a state highway in the area of Lucena in the province of Foggia. Pictures from the scene showed a white minivan flipped on its roof and lying in the middle of the road following a head-on collision with a truck carrying flour. Citing police sources, ANSA said 12 people were killed in the crash, adding that at least some of the victims were migrant farm workers who were traveling in the van. 3 people, including the truck driver, were injured in the crash.
Less than half of all plastic bottles used in the United Kingdom get recycled. Like other places in the world, plastic pollution is a growing problem. The Mayor of London has decided to try and tackle the issue by introducing fountains and refill stations around the capital. They're currently being installed in shopping districts and commuter hubs. If they prove successful, the project may expand.
The cheerful sound of hammers, tapping on copper, once rang loud and clear in Baghdad's ancient coppersmiths market. 15 years ago, the half-kilometer-long marketplace was bustling with vendors selling handmade copper work off their packed shelves, while apprentices stoked the fires and beat out sheets of raw copper, shaping the glowing metal into ornate pieces for sale. Today, the sound of hammers on copper has nearly fallen silent. This once lively bazaar has transformed into a dispirited fabric market. The few coppersmiths who remain complain of financial strains and a lack of demand. Tourism came to a near halt after the 2003 US-led invasion of Iraq, and a weakened economy left locals unable to afford these products.
Georgia has only one highway. It cuts through the country horizontally in the middle, connecting its east to the west. Any hostile act on E60 would pose an existential threat to the whole nation, disrupting its food supply route. And Georgians are well aware of the potential consequences of such a scenario. It's exactly what happened just 10 years ago. The 5-day war that broke out overnight between Georgia and Russia saw Russian tanks rumble through South Ossetia, a breakaway region since 1991, enter Georgia proper and camp on E60 just outside the capital, Tbilisi. The move not only humiliated the Western-minded small nation, but temporarily broke the country in half, revealing the consequences of an attempt to move away from the Russian sphere of influence.
They lounge at a bustling alleyway cafe, sandwiched between the labyrinths of crumbling apartment buildings in the heart of Cairo, adjacent to Tahrir Square. Just footsteps away, the maniacal spectacle of Cairo traffic is at work. Rusty cars whir by, lurching left and right, an orchestra of horns trumpeting their arrival and departure from one traffic light to the next. There's no time for signaling. Exhaust fumes hang thick in the air. Around each corner, there is singing, squawking, screaming. This is both the doorstep to the Middle East, the corridor to North Africa, the launchpad of revolutions that reverberated worldwide, and the home of more than 9 million Egyptians. But despite the beautiful chaos, Egypt is actually drought-stricken when it comes to visitors. That reality is more visible, just a few blocks away, towards the banks of the River Nile. The marble-encrusted lobbies of Cairo's many luxury hotels overlooking the Nile, once bustling with globetrotting tourists from every corner of the earth, are now silent.